program. It's time for the weekly Energy FC update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with the coach, Jimmy Nielsen. Coach, you are actually getting ready to head out to a big match in San Antonio. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first we got to rewind on that big friendly you had Tuesday night, and it was big. Pachuca in town, and it was a good result for your guys too. 0-0 draw in regulation. You guys went to PKs and had some excitement there, really.
Yeah. Not only a good result, I thought it was a fantastic performance by our guys as well. Got to remember, we were up against a world-class team. Yeah. There was some very, very good individual performance. We played extremely well as a team. Second half, we gave the opportunity to 5 of our PDL guys.
Yeah.
It was a fun, good experience for those guys as well, and they battle hard out there.
Well, in PKs, Pachuca's goalkeeper had 3 saves on 4 shots, which is remarkable, but your goalie was pretty phenomenal too, as Cochran had a franchise record 13 saves. Previous high was 8 by a good goalkeeper as well, Cody Lorendry last season, but CJ had a heck of a night for your guys.
That was an amazing performance by CJ yesterday. He's done well the few times that he is getting the opportunity to play. If there's anyone in the roster I'm very happy for, it's him. Mm-hmm. You know, he shows up every day with a fantastic attitude. It's not always easy to be the number 2 goalkeeper.
Sure.
But we're in a lucky position. We have 2 amazing goalkeepers.
Yeah. Good problem to have.
And they push each other, and there's a lot of competition for every position, including the goalkeeping spot.
You mentioned those younger guys earlier. 5 of the U23 players that got pulled up and got to play and played pretty well. What's the significance of that in your mind?
You know, we want to bring them in to give them that good experience. They have done extremely well with the PDL, mm-hmm. With the U23s. Kind of a little reward for those guys as well. And at the same time, we had this quick turnover, so we needed bodies. Mm-hmm. There was not a lot of guys. I think it was only CJ and Cody Andrews who played 90 minutes. Our new guy, Jose Angulo, got on the field for 25 minutes, mm-hmm. Just to kind of get him on the field and get to know the field and the stadium and the fans and his teammates. So I think all over, it was a win-win on and off the field yesterday. No injuries.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about Jose, by the way, in just a second. But let's fast forward to Friday night, as I mentioned. San Antonio, it's an 8 o'clock start for this match, and it's an exclusive on ESPNU, which means you guys are front and center nationally against San Antonio FC. But this is a big match not just because of that TV audience. This is a pretty important match for maintaining your spot in the standings.
It is, and now we start the second half of the season. Yeah. We're obviously not happy with the first half. Currently in 11th place in the standings, and that's not what we hoped and expected going into this season. I'm not the biggest fan of excuses, but we've been a little bit unlucky with some bad injuries and some strange calls on the field. That's not what we're looking for, excuses. We're looking for solutions. And if we can stay healthy, I'm very, very optimistic for the second half of the season, which is a lot easier schedule for us. You know, there's not as much as back-to-back games, and there's no 2 weeks on the road. It's a more normal schedule the second half.
Right, manageable in that way. Well, you have played San Antonio once already this year. It's been about a month. It was a draw, 0-0 draw against those guys who have been pretty good over the last season plus. What do you have to do to turn this into maybe not just a draw, but get on the high side of that?
No, they have some very good individual players. They're good as a team as well. There's a reason they're in second place in our conference. We got to come with the right mindset. We got to be ready to compete. We got to be ready to battle. Every time we have played San Antonio last year and this year, it's been some very, very intense games. It's been a few ties, and I think we beat them 1-0 once. It's going to be a close game. You know, we got to be ready from the first whistle to the last whistle of the game. Be ready to compete and battle.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier Jose Angulo, a guy that you got over in a trade/loan situation with St. Louis FC. Daniel Jackson's rights go to St. Louis, and then in a separate transaction, you guys received Jose on a loan from St. Louis. And Angulo, MVP of the league a couple years ago, tying for the Golden Boot, had a then record 15 goals in league play. How does all this affect things short-term, long-term? Obviously, you mentioned Jose got out there and played a little bit on Tuesday night.
Well, as I mentioned before, we've been a little bit unlucky with injuries. With bringing Jose in, we can be a little more creative. He's a strong guy. He's a fast guy. He got a fantastic nose for goals, and we need that creativity. We had Miguel Gonzalez out with suspension, and Craven got injured as well. We're missing a little bit, and you add to the competition for the starting spots.
Yeah. Do you expect Jose to play even more than he did on Tuesday night come Friday night?
We have not made those decisions yet.
Yeah.
We're traveling to San Antonio today and train this afternoon and tomorrow, and we'll make those final decisions.
All right, Friday night, it's an 8 o'clock start, ESPNU exclusive. You can check out the Energy there. You can also go to energyfc.com for all sorts of information on upcoming matches, tickets, all things Energy FC. And be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.